Hello viewers and welcome back to Let's Play Reunion. We are where we left off. We're about to send our satellite carrier off to somewhere. So what's its use, since that was the one that we originally had tried to send a satellite to and it failed to reach its destination. I'm going to just send that off there. So satellite carriers, you don't need a pilot in your employment to actually send satellite carriers around. They're fairly autonomous. And they will just eventually reach their destination, and we'll be able to deploy some satellites. So what we're going to basically do is just stick satellites on a whole bunch of the planets around here, and see if they have any useful stuff that we can find. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to the main area. Now we can build one of these transfer ships as well. Okay. And this was so that we could actually deploy our miner station. Okay. So we already know of a planet that we can mine on. We can mine on New Earth's own moon, Apollo, and that means once we've actually produced this, we can create another group, create another new group. This is still in transit at the moment. This is going to take an awfully long time to reach its destination because the speed that ships travel at, even though you can fly these without a pilot, it will take a very long time to actually reach its destination. So I'm probably better off to actually hire a pilot. Actually, I'm hardly getting any money right now, so I might leave that for just a moment. I'll come back to that shortly, but I'm going to create a new unit. This is going to be our transfer group. Okay. And this is going to consist of one sloop or transfer ship, and we're going to put our miner station on board. We can just simply launch this. In fact, we can't because we obviously need a pilot to really get any further with this. How cheap is the cheap pilot? Well, we need a pilot. Bruce Jordan, who is still learning to fly. He is very cheap. He's also rubbish. This guy costs 25,000, and he has many wars behind him. And she is apparently the best, but she's very expensive. I want to go with this guy probably, so just wait till we've got 25 grand and then buy him. Our satellite carrier has now reached its destination, so if we go to that, we can see it's explored Zeus's moons, and there are several moons which have all been given names. We have Penelope, Cyclops, Odysseus, Siren and Ithaca. They're all clearly named from Greek mythology. So what we will do, I mean, first of all, we have 5 satellites to play with here. We can simply launch the satellite now. We can see what the surface of this place looks like. It is wet. It's a very wet place. Which is interesting because, I mean, at first glance it may have looked like a gas giant, but it's actually a large water world. We'll go to some of these other places. What about Ithaca? Just launch satellites onto these. So what does this place look like? Very rocky, strange looking place. Unusual rock layouts. It almost looks artificial. Okay, we have Penelope, and we have found another planet, Amnesty 2. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, launch a satellite here. We're going to need more satellites pretty soon. We've only got 5 on this group. This is Penelope. It's a strange triangle shape here. Unusual. Okay, moving on, we have... Where have we been already? Have we... I can't remember which ones we've actually been to or not. We'll go to this one. So this is a kind of swampy, muddy looking place. And I think we've got one more that we could put down. Siren. So this is a strange sandy place. It looks a little bit like Apollo, though it does look like a wreckage of a spaceship down there. Clearly some artificial stuff there. There's also a rather evil looking hole in the ground that looks like that thing out of Star Wars. Some skeletons of large animals. So, yeah, so clearly there has been life on here at some point. There are also some, I don't know if these are strange plants or something like that. Anyway, we are now out of satellites, so I'll just bring this back to New Earth. We need to restock it. In the meantime, we will take our transfer ship and direct it to Apollo, because, oh, apparently we can mine in Penelope as well.
Message.
Right, we have multiple messages coming through. This is probably just to say that we've arrived at our destination. We can add a minor station here though. This planet is suitable for living. As your ancestors made a colony on New Earth, you're planning to do the same on other planets. So we have added our minor station.
Message.
And we'll be bombarded here with messages about the other planets that we've sent satellites to, because you'll rapidly get given information whether you can or not mine on them, live on them, or anything else remotely interesting. Okay, so we now have a miner station here. Miner droid's already in place, and he is mining. We can't really do anything else with it at the moment. Spoke too soon. We have now invented the colony. There we go. So we can now, basically, once this is invented, we'll be able to actually colonise other planets in a similar way to putting the minor station on there, except we'll be able to build actual colonies if they are habitable. There's several benefits of doing so. It means when you've got a minor station on a planet, you can only have one minor droid mining on it at any one time, so they kind of limits your kind of output from that planet. If you can build a colony there, you can actually build. You can have up to 9 minor droids basically mining on it at any one time, so it really rapidly increases your ability to extract resources. It can also mean you can have people living there that are going to become a taxable population. Now, you may notice that the research has actually stopped here. This is because our man does not meet the requirements. Thomas Dempsey is a physics level of 3. This requires 4. So we're going to have to send him to university. That's going to cost us a pile of money, unfortunately. So I'm just going to rapid this up a little bit. Hopefully that'll be enough. Go to university, sir. I want you to learn, say, physics and electricity. 42,000 credits. I will pay. Have fun. Right, so he should come back from university having learned more about physics, and he will be able to complete that research, and then we'll be able to build colonies. In the meantime, how are things looking down here? How many resources? We're rapidly getting quite a lot of resources here. We really do want probably more. We're going to want more in the way of detoxin. Now, down at 50% in terms of our actual power here, so we're going to want to build more power stations, which we can't afford to do right now. So this is one of these cycles that you will get into in this game. We need to speed up time a little bit. There, we've invented the colony. How much does it cost for one of these? 35,000. We'll build that down here. So let that build. We have now invented the colony, so we can now colonise other planets. That's a very expensive thing to do, so we're not going to be doing it right off the bat, but shortly we will be colonising a few places. We're also going to want more satellites and probably satellite carriers to save us having to constantly come back. We can maybe get 10 satellite carriers in the group. That would be good. And then 10 satellites. Okay. In the meantime, I'm just going to pop into Space Local because we didn't really properly see this place. The first time we went in, we were immediately bombarded with a message. So this is the local pub, which is very reminiscent of the Star Wars kind of bars, or the maybe something like Quark's bar in Deep Space Nine or something. It's very... There seems to be a mishmash of aliens, which is strange as we haven't actually made any contact with any other species yet. So I don't know how they've managed to mingle in here without anybody really noticing, but yeah, that's what it is. Here's the bartender.
Oh.
Hello, bartender. Have you heard any news that may interest me? Would you like to drink something? I guess that's probably not optional. Of course, what do you recommend? Try the Altair Firewater. It's what real men drink. Okay, that'll do. We are not alone in the solar system. Okay, apparently we are not alone. Was it the furry guy over here that gave it away? Not entirely sure. Right, and we also have an informer. Do you have any information? He does not at this point in time. There's also a spy hunter in here. Have you seen or heard anything unusual? No. He is just standing there with his big freaking gun. Yep, there will be probably more characters in here later on. We'll gradually come back here and see more stuff happening. What I'm just going to very quickly do as well, because I've not done it yet, I'm going to save the game here. Just in case anything bad happens. It's the first part of this game is very unpredictable, or rather it is quite predictable, as the game essentially follows a lot of scripted events. There's pretty much no way to complete this game unless you know what is actually going to happen and you can prepare for it, which is why I'm kind of rushing through some parts of this early stage. If you don't know what's happening and you don't plan accordingly for it, you will not win the game. It's a game that takes a lot of kind of trial and error. You will have multiple playthroughs where you will lose the first bit without even really getting anywhere. So with that in mind, there's a few things that I, obviously having played this game before, know we need to do. We haven't discovered the correct planet yet, unfortunately. This is where there is a little bit of luck does come into it. We need to discover a certain planet before we can do the next thing. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to see if we can, in the meantime, just get more satellites out there. We will add the rest of the satellite carriers here. So we now get 10 satellites in this group. We will go back to Zeus. Now I can't remember which planets here we haven't already. Right, we've already put a satellite there. Obviously we've already done Penelope and Odysseus. Have we done that? No, we've not done Odysseus. So we'll put a satellite in orbit of Odysseus. And that is a gas moon. Strange. Certainly doesn't look like it from its icon there, but never mind. Right, we will then go to a plateau.
Move ship message.
So again, we will just pop these satellites into orbit of everything here.
Control. Move ship message. Satellite deployed.
So, quickly just pop have a wee look at these. So we have an icy place here, again with some large holes in the ground, which the artists in this game seem to love putting big holes in the ground. So there's that. There is another rocky place, again with a strange rock formation there. In fact, I think this looks exactly the same as the other rocky planet that we've seen. And this is again a very rocky place, although this one does have some surface water, potentially water. It could potentially be something else, like liquid methane or something. It's actually huge, this place as well. Look at the size of the map. Very, very big planet. Unfortunately, I don't believe it is colonizable, so we will move to the next place. So we have done Zeus, we have done Clatur. We'll go to Amnesty 1 next.
Move ship message. Satellite deployed.
So we're just going to stick satellites on as many planets as we can, and Yep. What I should probably do as well is build more living space on New Earth, as we don't want to increase the revenue that we're getting from taxes as well. But I'll come to that in just a minute. So we have several moons here, which we'll just launch some satellites into.
Control.
So that's Explorer.
Move ship message. Satellite deployed. Control.
And Ranger.
Move ship message. Satellite deployed.
So deploy satellites in all of these places.
Surface.
So this is a very red place. You can see there are actually some metal grates in some of the craters here, so this place has definitely been visited before. In fact, there are some large footprints heading into this one, so I don't want to know what lives down there. It looks like something pretty big. Yeah, there's some strange metal grates. Interesting. So that was Ranger, I believe. This is another marshy, or kind of muddy kind of planet here, and this one is another sort of mucky place. Nothing hugely interesting with that. This one's a bit volcanic looking. Doesn't look particularly habitable, to be fair. So we have another 2 satellites. We could quickly, I suppose, go to this planet. This is Amnesty 2. Amnesty is the star that we're currently orbiting, by the way. So this is Amnesty 2. It's a desert planet, again with some of these lovely skeletons. And there are 4 moons here to near and launch a satellite into its orbit as well. Again, it's a sort of desert planet here, with some big sand dunes, some evil looking holes in the ground, and some skeletons everywhere. So I think we're out of satellites now. Head back to New Earth. And while doing so, I'm going to go on here. So what our people are very neutral at the moment. What I'm going to do is just see if we can maybe improve this colony a little bit. So so we can build all of these things. These are all the buildings that we can build. We can build buildings. Buildings are houses, essentially. So we're going to build a few. In fact, I'm going to start down at the corner and just build a kind of space for more housing, because we do want to expand the population a little bit and increase the revenue that we get from taxes. Just while all of these places are being researched, I suppose. Right, we also need a hospital here.
Planet information.
If we need a hospital, that might lead people to not actually like me at the moment. So we will. Now, in order to build a hospital, we are going to need a bit more space. So I can put one up here. Probably that would be a nice place to put a hospital.
Planet information. Tax increase.
Taxes back up again.
Tax increase.
Taxes back up again.
Tax increase.
Again. So we can keep that very difficult. That will lead us to a bit more income. We will probably need some more. We're going to need some more nuclear generators before too long. So I'm going to build some more of these just now, just to kind of preempt the lack of power. And with these in place, I'm going to continue building more derricks up in this corner. So we're going to want lots of these. This is the amount of detoxin that you can get on this planet is probably as good as any other. So there's not really any point in mining it on other planets. Specifically, we can just build tons and tons of derricks here and get as much of it as we will ever need. So we're gonna just want to make sure that we are building loads of derricks. As we will probably quite soon start to suffer resource shortages. I'm a little concerned that we haven't found the planet that I am... Oh, there we go. We have found a new planet in Amnesty system. This one has a name. This is called Jade. And it is this green ball here. I'm going to go very quickly here because we are rapidly... it took quite a long time for that to actually show up. I'm going to send our trade ship over here.
Planet. Move ship. Message.
Because we have an alien species at this planet. There's an alien race called the Genosians.
Attention.
They are currently incomprehensible, so we will begin work on translating their language. There's a whole bunch of moons here as well. We're not going to attempt to launch any satellites on these just yet, as if we do, they will destroy our satellites, so there's no point. But yeah, hopefully that was in good enough time that we will be able to accomplish things. Like I say, this game, there is an inherent bit of randomness in the order that you discover the planets in, and sometimes it can happen that you discover Jade a little bit too late and it gets in the way of other scripted events. Essentially, if you do not do what I just did there and go make contact with the Genosians, we will never invent the communicator to translate their messages, and we will... Well, I'll explain further as we go. Like you'll see that essentially to complete this game properly, you do need to do certain things in a certain order. So we've now invented the communicator as a result of that introduction to the Genosians, and this should allow us to make contact with alien species and translate their language, opening up some doors for some diplomacy.
Message.
So the communicator is now ready for production. We don't need to actually buy any, which is interesting. There is actually an ore price for it, but we never actually have to buy one. All you need to do is invent it, and it does its thing. So with that, I'm just going to get back to planet here. Oh, we have run out of energy. That's not good. Build more power plants. Get everything back online. Okay, we have a ton of derricks here. We're getting quite a lot of detoxin now as well. Okay, we are on probably want to have a look at Apollo here as well. So as you can see, we are mining on Apollo, but because there's just one miner droid, it's not something that happens particularly quickly. We can build a colony here, which could potentially be worth doing. Ideally, I would prefer to build a colony somewhere that is a little bit more in the way of energy on, but there's a good amount of rhenium here, which is something that we don't have on Earth, so or a new Earth. I suppose we will need to wait for a little bit of money to come in order for us to be able to build a colony properly. Colonies cost generally around about 200,000 credits to get up and running, and then you'll need more money on top of that to build additional mines and power stations and all that jazz. So they're not cheap, but obviously once they are up and running, they will contribute to taxes as well. They will contribute to your income.
Planet information.
Okay. Apparently everyone hates me at the moment here, so let's just
tax increase.
Go. Right. Hello. We have the Genosians have made contact with us, so we're glad we could finally decode your transmission. Tell us your purpose in contacting us. Greetings, human. We have been monitoring your progress. Your kind is developing rapidly. We think that we should work together. Could you be more specific? We are working on a very efficient transfer ship, and our scientific collaboration would speed up the project. What can I do? Send your senior scientist to our planet. We will send our spaceship to pick him up in 2 days if you agree. Do you accept our offer? Okay. We will hopefully contact you soon with good news. Okay, our scientist is gone. He has gone to the Genosians planet to help with some research, which will hopefully benefit us as well. So mutually beneficial things like that are good. That means we will now be able to research something new. But, in the meantime, just while we're waiting for him to come back, we probably... we're probably at a point where it could be worth building a colony on the moon. So I'm going to do that.
Attention.
Scientist has returned. He says the collaboration has been fruitful. A new ship has been invented which will give you excellent trading capabilities. Now this is the trade ship, which has already been invented. We can now purchase it. They're a little bit more expensive than the transfer ships, but they are much better. They have a much bigger carrying capacity, and these are what we will mainly be using to shuttle minerals between our different colonies, or specifically from our colonies to our main colony on New Earth, as that is the place where you need your minerals to be in order to actually use them. So one of the minor flaws in this game is the amount of micromanagement that you do end up having. In order for you to build anything with resources, the resources have to be on New Earth. They can't be on one of your colonies, so you do need to use trade ships to shuttle them back and forth, and that can get a little bit tedious. In the meantime, though, that is by the by for now. What we are going to do is build a colony here. Now we have 129,000 at the moment. I'm going to get this up to about 200,000, and then we're going to build these. I'm going to go with wind trap here rather than the nuclear generator, because the nuclear generators are quite expensive, and this happens to be a planet that you can use wind traps on. Wind traps are another source of power, and they are a bit cheaper than nuclear generators and a bit more efficient, I believe. So we'll build those. We'll also build a mine. The radar station's pretty unnecessary. It just shows a little mini map in the corner, but well, it's only 15,000, so they're quite a good indicator of when your colony's running out of power. Is pretty much the first thing that will happen is your mini map will disappear. So we are now building a colony, and as you can see, we now have our little radar map here. So we are now able to build more mines on this planet, which is exactly what we're going to do. Now, let me just check this. So these produce 1,200 kilowatt hours. These produce 3,000, but these cost 3.5 times as much. So these are somewhat more efficient. Yeah, I got that all out of alignment, but never mind. We're going to build those. We're going to build a... We need... The maximum number of miner droids you can have on a planet is 9, so we need 8 mines, and the miner station counts as a mine as well. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to need more money. Apparently people are starving on New Earth. I better fix that. So to sort that problem out, you can build food resources. You can also build farms, but food resources are better. So just build those. We have an incoming message from the Genosians. Greetings, alien. Greetings again, human. We have a proposition that may interest you. What is it? We have a very strange device that was recovered from a crashed alien ship. Our scientists cannot discover its function, so we thought that for a modest fee, you could have the alien item. What is the price? The price is 16,000 credits. Do you accept this offer? Yes, I'm going to accept that. Alright, we are sending it. Thank you, Genosians. So they are sending us a unknown device. We do not know what this is yet, so we cannot research it.
Back.
Hopefully at some point our researcher will learn what it is.
Surface.
In the meantime,
Tarmac.
what was I in the middle of doing? I was building mines. So yeah, what we're going to do basically here is build a total of 8 mines on here. We are going to...
Production.
So we've already got 1 miner droid out there, we've already got 2 in stores, so we are going to need... another 6.
Okay.
So we'll purchase those. We'll probably also purchase...
okay.
Just a little short of cash just now here.
Okay.
Want at least 5 of these just now. That means we can add these to our trade group.
Change. Control. Group.
So we can add those and we can transfer the miner droids just in the inventory here. This is the same way that you would transfer minerals back and forth.
Control back.
So we'll take the miner droids, we're going to take them to Apollo and immediately run into a problem. We need a spaceport to transfer items. So that's a pain in the ass because spaceports are actually quite awkward to build. Because we need we've already got a builder plant, we'll need a vehicle plant as well. So we'll build a vehicle plant down here. Then we should be able to build a spaceport, but we won't because it costs 50,000 credits. There we go. We now have 50,000 credits, we'll just build it up here. And that done, we will now be able to transfer the miner droids onto the surface, which in turn will allow us to add droids, and that will remarkably increase the rate of our extraction of these. The only thing we are missing now is Texon. We probably have planets somewhere that have Texon. We can look at our main computer. This tells us our planets, alien planets, which we haven't technically discovered any of yet. Although we know aliens are present on Jade, we haven't got a satellite in orbit, so we won't get that information on here. We do, however, have a list of the mineable and accommodable planets that we can go to. So I'm pretty sure at least 1 or 2 of these have Texon as well, and we will look to build a colony on one of these planets as well, so that we can get all of the resources we possibly can. So with that, I'm going to save the game here just now. And yeah, so we've now established a proper colony on the moon Apollo. We've got a lot of miners going on there, mining a lot of resources for us, and we've made contact with the Genosians, who are helping us with some research. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave the video at this point here. We're going to call that the end of part 2, and we will continue pretty much from here in the next part. Thank you very much again for watching. I hope you are enjoying this so far. If you are, give us a like, leave us some feedback in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. And I hope to see you again next time. Catch you later.